Hello folks, Brelshaza is the final boss of the last Abyss dungeon in Tier 1. You actually fight her twice here as the second and third boss, since she has two phases. This guy will cover both of these fights. Anyway, let's begin. In phase 1, she has one unique mechanic with rolling stones. She will use this twice, once at 14 health bars and another time at 6 health bars. During this attack, she will teleport to the middle and tilt the entire stage. Then boulders will roll from the top of the screen along 4 different lanes. The boulders have either a slow or fast speed, and you want to keep changing lanes to avoid getting hit. Getting hit will knock you farther down towards the spinning blades, which will most likely kill you. To make this harder, the boss will continue to use her normal attacks throughout this phase. To stop the rolling stones, you will need to bait the meteor that she casts on a random party member and hit her with it. During this phase, it is best to focus on dodging instead of dealing damage to the boss. If you get marked by the meteor, you will need to be next to the boss when it locks on 5 seconds later. If you do get the red marker, there are 2 tricks to stay next to the boss and ignore the boulders. One is to use your awakening skill since it has full push immunity. Another is to use a time stop potion. I suggest the awakening method because that is much cheaper. This is the only hard mechanic of this phase. For her general attacks, there's quite a lot but nothing too scary. She can teleport around, which can be annoying when you are prepping slower hits. You can tell where she is going by looking at the boss indicator on the minimap or by finding her health bar while she teleports. The teleport actually does a little bit of damage, but you can ignore it and just focus on chasing her. She can cast ground eruptions, which are very noticeable. Move out of the way of the glowing circles before they explode. Getting hit will do medium damage and knock you in the air. She can cast 4 orbs that move towards the boss. Then she will cast another 4 that originates from her, traveling outward in the other cardinal direction. Simply move to the trail of the first set of orbs to dodge the second set going out. She can cast dark flames along the ground in front of her. Thorns will then pop out of these flames, doing damage and knocking you up. You have time to move out of the flames before the thorns appear. And if you step on these flames, then you will get a little darkness debuff which will limit your vision for a short time. She can shoot a spiked orb that moves slowly in a straight line. After a while, the orb will explode into 4 smaller spikes that will also move in a straight line. Don't worry about these too much, they do very little damage and only staggers a little. Her big cone attack covers a danger area with light orbs. The area it covers will explode in a counterclockwise direction. Getting hit will do a bit of damage and knock you up. Save your dashes for this attack to get away from the danger area. When she creates clones of herself, they will do a small cone attack. Getting hit will put you in a cage for 3 seconds. You will be freed after those 3 seconds, or if a teammate hits the cage enough to break it. While imprisoned, you can still get hit by her other attacks, so this is another one you want to save your dashes to avoid. This attack is extra dangerous in the next fight, since you might need those precious 3 seconds. Lastly, she has a spear barrage. She will summon many spears above her head, and they will shoot out in random directions. It is semi-random actually. The first wave will always hit far away from her, and the second wave will hit near her. You can avoid this by moving really far away from the beginning, or you can go close, then far to avoid both waves. And that's pretty much all her attacks in phase 1. Lots of general attacks, but most are not too dangerous. Just keep an eye on all the glowing attacks and avoid them. She actually do a lot of these attacks as well in phase 2, so better get familiar with them now. After passing the 2 rolling stone mechanics and depleting her health bar, she will enter phase 2 and you'll get a new checkpoint. This will be the last fight of tier 1. In phase 2, she has 2 raid wipe mechanics. The first are 2 different stagger checks when she reaches the 34th and 26th health bar. Like regular stagger checks, save your abilities with high or mid-high stagger before reaching the health bar threshold. You can also use grenades with high stagger or your awakening skills. The amount of time you have is actually less than you think because it does not count the extra animation when the shield breaks. Also, the second time she does this stagger check when she's at 26 health bars, she will teleport to the middle of the stage, so prepare for that. There is a cheese method to ignore the first stagger check. To do that, bait her to a corner and then drop her down to the 34th health bar. When she starts the stagger mechanic, run to the opposite corner. This will put you far away enough to not get one shot. However, this does not work on the second stagger since she teleports to the middle of the stage. Her other one-shot ability is a light beam mechanic that she does at 16 and 8 health bars. The first time she does this, one player will get marked by 3 black orbs above their head. The other 3 players will have a small beam of light in front of them. You'll need all 3 players with lights to point their beams at the player with the 3 black orbs. The best way to handle this is for the orb player to stand still while the other 3 players do the aiming. Do not stand on top of the orb player. You can be pretty far away and still hit them with your beam. The beam player should walk a good 5 steps away, then aim by auto-attacking the player with the orbs. This will turn your character towards them without moving too much. Now just keep aiming at them until the mechanic is solved. If you do this correctly, the camera will zoom out and a meteor will begin to fall. Use your dash and run out of the red circle to a safe spot. Do not move too early, wait for the camera to zoom out first. I have seen many wipes because players thought the mechanic was already over and they started to move away too early. If you fail, your team will get imprisoned and die. It is possible to time your dash and avoid the imprisonment, but it is quite difficult for the whole team to succeed. If one or more players are dead during this mechanic, you will automatically fail since you won't have 3 light beams on the dark orb player. She will repeat this ability at 8 health bars with a slight variance. Instead of 3 players with a light beam, there will be 2 players with beams and 1 with a light circle behind them. The beam players will do the same as before, point towards the orb player. The one with the circle will need to look away from the orb player. You can do this by moving several steps away from the orb player like before, then auto-attack away from the orb player to aim the circle under them. The rest of the mechanic will behave the same. The camera will zoom out if you succeed, and you will get imprisoned if you fail. Make sure to run out the red circle after the camera zooms out. Besides these 2 white mechanics, the boss is pretty much the same as phase 1 with some slight variation. Her ground dark flames will be enhanced with new patterns besides the straight line. She can do several rings around her with safe spots between the rings. She can also cast a much larger cone. This is also her counterable attack. Landing a counter while she is blue will stop the thorns from coming out. Stepping into these dark flames will still give you the darkness debuff, which reduces your vision for a short period. Her light orbs will also get enhanced in phase 2. This time, she will shoot cones on both sides. The orbs still explode in a counterclockwise order, and like before, this will do a bit of damage and knock you up. Save your dashes to move into the safe pizza slice, or far away enough to avoid it entirely. The boss has a new attack where she summons a large ring around her. Touching this ring will do damage, so you will be fighting in close proximity for a little while. The ring will gradually shrink. Just stay close to her and keep avoiding attacks the best you can until the ring disappears. Another new attack are the shadow puddles. Players will get marked by a purple puddle. Move away from the boss before dropping these puddles. If you keep walking at normal speed, you'll get hit by the first tick after dropping it. It deals only a little damage and staggers you, so don't worry too much about it. She can also summon 4 large shadow balls from 4 portals. You have time to see where the shadow balls will spawn and travel, so do your best to get out of the way. Each ball does a nice chunk of damage, but if you are caught in the middle, you can get staggered and hit by multiple shadow balls, which can result in an early death. After the second stagger check, she will start summoning dark waves that moves in columns along the stage. These will have indicators before the waves go through. They do low damage, but will persist throughout the entire fight. And that's pretty much it for all her new attacks in phase 2. She can still use most of her abilities from phase 1, so keep on your toes. Every attack is telegraphed and can be avoided. If you do get hit, then that's what potions are for. Just keep at it and you will clear tier 1 in no time. Thanks for watching my guide and sticking through this far in the video. If the guide was helpful, please leave a like and let me know what I missed or how to improve in the comments down below. Anyway, thanks for watching. T-Soul out.